Welcome back to another episode of Excalibur CCG TV's Talking Comics. We're your hosts. I'm Randy.
I'm Santa.
And he is Santa Cinnabon, as Riggs would say. You've got your Cinnabon.
Oh, the bun.
Yeah. It would be better if you could do it in like a Princess Leia kind of wrap there.
I might get there one day.
Maybe, if we're lucky. We are going to be doing what we usually do, and that is talking about comics that are going to be new for the Wednesdays of the year. We're talking about the last Wednesday of 2017, December 27th, 2017.
Aye.
Yes. So the year has flown by.
It has.
We, in this year, have relocated to across the street in Shreveport, Louisiana. The Texarkana location is still in the same building. If you need to know how to get to either one of these destinations, look on our website, excaliburccg.com, or our Facebook page, and you can find directions and phone numbers. We are not going to have any announcements other than to say that there will be a new year that is happening. One in which there will be new comic books. There will be canceled comic books. There will be characters dying and characters coming back to life. All really right there at the beginning of the year.
Pretty much,
Almost
yeah.
immediately.
Yeah.
But we'll jump into comic books, and we'll talk about two characters this time that are coming back, resurrecting, if you will. But before we get to that, Mark is going to talk to you about something that is very near and dear to his heart.
Boneheads.
Boneheads. We all know.
This is somebody did an autobiography. I did an autobiography comic because that would be me.
That would be you.
This is from Top Cow. Brian Hill and Roald Marcelius. The Mask, I don't know if this is a miniseries or what, because I didn't print out the name.
I didn't have a number next to it, so I would assume right now it's an ongoing.
In the near future, a sprawling megalopolis sees the rise of boneheads. Parquet. Butter.
Hardcore parkour games.
I don't know what that means. Parkour games.
Yeah, the guys that run and jump around and leap across the city. The leapers.
Is that what that is?
Yes. Hardcore parkour.
Okay. They use neuro-linked helmets to augment their abilities and live for the thrill of physical risk. As a gang war threatens to tear the city apart, a mysterious bonehead rises. A man with no past that might be the key to saving the city's future. Blah, blah, blah. Story about technological and human revolution. It just seems like something that I've read and seen 100 times before. I hope there's like something different about this and a twist, and because it just sounds like something.
What a twist. Okay. Next up we have from DC Comics. It is a dark metal tie-in. This is Hawkman Found #1 of 1. That means it is a one-shot. It doesn't need the #1, yet they still feel the need to put #1 right there. Jeff Lemire comes back to DC Comics. Now, I don't know if he's written anything fully within the DCU, but he's written for Vertigo. So he's back within the DC fold. And he's brought along Brian Hitch to draw the book. And it is coming out on time. So, pretty awesome. This is about Carter Hall, that is Hawkman, to those of you who don't know, and he has been missing for years, apparently. You're going to get to see where he's been, what he's been up to, and all of this is because he has some mysterious person that is searching for him amongst all of the darkest corners of the DC universe. So, Carter Hall, maybe they're changing some of what his history has been here as they reintroduce the character.
Okay.
So that's one resurrection.
Here comes the other one. Brace yourselves. This is Phoenix Resurrection from Marvel Comics. #1 of, I don't know because I didn't print the name out.
5.
1 of 5. Thank you.
And I think it starts out this month, and then it's going to be weekly in January.
Okay.
I think.
This is from Matthew Rosenberg, Rising Star, Matthew Rosenberg, and Lionel Francis Yu of the Weird Mouth shape things that he does. She will return, like a phoenix from the ash of life. Years ago, Jean Grey died, and the X-Men mourned her. Since then, the world has changed. Her teammates have lived without her and died without her. This is not even necessary. And now, when events start happening all over the world, those teammates can only come to one conclusion. The one true Jean Grey is back. That is the crappiest solicit.
For something as big as what they're doing there.
It says nothing. It's like a Seinfeld episode. It doesn't accomplishes nothing.
That we should point out.
And it didn't even make
this
me
is
laugh
like the longest.
once.
Yeah, this is the longest they've had that character stay dead.
Yeah.
I think that goes back to the Grant Morrison.
I believe so, like towards the end.
Yeah, so that's quite a bit of time that's passed for her to stay dead. More time than Wolverine.
More time, yes.
More time. Now, I've got the longest name for a title for the year 2017. This is Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, Storms of Crate. Number 1 of 1. Another one-shot. Ben Acker and Ben Blacker are writing.
What? Seriously?
You don't know about the Bens?
I don't know.
They do like the Thrilling Action Hour and some of the different stuff. But Ben Acker and Ben Blacker.
Okay.
And Mike Mayhew is giving us some pretty art.
I always like this cover.
Yes, beautiful covers. And he did like some of the fill-ins for the one-shots throughout the Star Wars books. What is the secret of the mining planet Crate? You know this planet if you've seen the movie. Long before their lives became much more complicated than they already were, or are, or whatever.
Well, it's a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So
That's true.
I guess it would be were.
We have Luke and Leia out together looking for a new Rebel home base, and they believe it is the planet Crate. They believe it is. So maybe it is, maybe it isn't. We'll find out. It's going to be all resolved within one issue.
Okay.
With this being the end of the year, guys, this is actually more comics than we usually get. Because usually I think there's like a 5th week or something, and this is a 4th week. So we're getting a fair amount of books. But that's really about it. Except for, well, with the new books, there is one major storyline that's going on right now. And I know Mark is dying to talk about it. Dying. It's like your Kluk is running out.
It is. My Doomsday Clock is running out.
It is running out.
Okay, Doomsday Clock number 2.
Of 12.
Of 12 by Jeff Johns and Gary Frank Still. The whole thing's
Gary Frank Still?
Gary Frank Still.
Is it Steen or Still?
Frankenstill.
Frankenstill.
Okay, DC and Watchmen characters collide at last. The story that began in DC Universe, Rebirth number 1, comes to a thrilling and unexpected crescendo in the pages of this Titanic 12-issue series by the all-star team that brought you Batman Earth 1 and Shazam! In this second chapter, the Dark Knight discovers another relic from the Watchmen world. Lex Luthor pays a devil's bargain, and killer clowns trek through Gotham seeking a madman. That's like every day for Gotham.
Yeah, that's nothing new.
Yeah.
So the big event is here for its second
rolling
issue.
along.
Second issue.
Yep.
I think beyond that, that's about it for the comic books. I do have a question of the week.
Oh, cool. I didn't.
Fun little question here, where we'll see how fun we can make it. With the announcement of possibly Marvel, possibly Cebulski, whatever the name is, with these guys all possibly rearranging house, fixing things within the house,
Canceling titles,
titles,
stuff.
yes. We're looking at the canceling of titles. Is there a Marvel book that you hope survives the cancellation process? That's what I want to know from you guys. Because it just seems like more and more every day they're mentioning more books. I don't know if they're really going in the direction of a hard reboot or what, but So that's kind of the question. What is a title you would like Marvel to save from cancellation? I mean, the few titles I read right now are not up for cancellation, but I would really hate to see Iron Fist go. And I mention Iron Fist because it's one of those books that realistically numbers are probably not going to be there to keep it going on, but it'd just be a shame to lose it because it has been a good read.
Okay, fair enough.
Do you have one?
No, I don't care. Cancel them all.
I've got another
Reboot.
great piece
I
of
don't
great
know.
news for you.
What's that?
It looks like that within March's solicitations, they are hinting that this story of Amazing Spider-Man could finally be Dan Slott's last.
Let's all hope.
That's so Slott's had some. He's had a few bright spots
He has.
within the books,
He has.
but he's had a lot more criticism from Spider-Man fans, at least that I have heard, both online and offline.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I would have read it online and not heard it.
Unless you were like listening to a podcast.
Unless I was listening to a podcast, and I don't listen to those, so I wasn't doing that.
Well, maybe you had like the hearing impaired thing going.
That could have happened. Maybe someone was reading it to me while I was asleep, and I was osmosising it.
That would be me.
That would be you.
Yeah.
As you cuddle.
That's right.
Spoon. I love that we were both thinking that. So, with that awesome image in your heads, we are going to go ahead and do all of our closing here. You know, we are Excalibur Comics. You know, our website is excaliburccg.com. Welcome back to another episode of Excalibur CCG TV's Talking Comics. We're your hosts. I'm Randy.
I'm Santa.
And
Mark.
he is Santa Cinnabon, as Riggs would say. You've got your Cinnabon.
Oh, the bun.
Yeah. It
Doesn't go
would be
there,
better
so
if you
yeah.
could do it in like a Princess Leia kind of wrap there.
I might get there one day.
Maybe, if we're lucky. We are going to be doing what we usually do, and that is talking about comics that are going to be new for the Wednesdays of the year. We're talking about the last Wednesday of 2017, December 27th, 2017.
Aye.
Yes. So the year has flown by.
It has.
We, in this year, have relocated to across the street in Shreveport, Louisiana. The Texarkana location is still in the same building. If you need to know how to get to either one of these destinations, look on our website, ExcaliburCCG.